Hello, wonderful yogis. Thank you for being here at the Your Yoga with M YouTube channel. It's lovely to have you. Today we have a little 20-minute beginner flexibility session. So throughout, take it easy, listen to your body, respect your body. If it feels like it's too much, come out of it. Maybe look at coming back into it, but if you just feel like it's not for you, then it's not for you, and that's perfectly fine. Things that I would say to have nearby are a strap. So that can be an exercise strap or a yoga belt, whatever you've got nearby. You could even use a skipping rope if you have a skipping rope. I'd also just recommend having a block nearby. So this is a kind of a large book size. So if you don't have one of them, then grab a large book. Make sure you have water as well. And then when you're ready, we will go for it. There's a playlist below. So if you want to pop that on now, then go for it. It's some nice tunes in there for you to flow to. We're going to start in child's pose. So take your time to get there. We're going to come to tabletop and then bring our knees to the edges of the mat. So just a bit wider than our hips. Our toes are going to come together, and then we're going to sink our hips down to our heels and let our chest rest down. So if you feel like your thighs are too wide at this point, bring them in a little bit. So as your ribs are almost resting, the side of your ribs are resting on your thighs. Extend your arms, plant your palms, spread your fingers, and then let your forehead come down to the mat. Take a big breath in. Big exhale. Let's take 3 deep breaths like that. Let your shoulders melt down, let your heart melt down. Take the time to just center. Have a check-in and see how you're feeling. We're just going to curl our hands to the left edge of the mat. So both hands coming round. You can even go off the edge of the mat if you want to go a little bit further. And then again, let your head rest down. Push into your right hand side of your ribs. Just gently stretching open our ribs. Okay, we're going to just nice and gently crawl those hands all the way over. Come up onto your fingertips to help you over to the other side. Again, coming off the mat, coming as far as feels good, and then pushing into your left ribs to really open up. Let your shoulders melt down, let your head be heavy. Feel the fascia, the skin around your ribs and your intercostal muscles that are in between your ribs. Feel it all open up. Okay, come on round back to center. Reach your fingertips, keep your gaze at the top of the mat and reach so as you're really opening up both sides of the ribs. Push into your hips. Okay, then come on up to tabletop. So you want your wrists underneath your shoulders, your knees under your hips, and push the ground away. Spread your fingers, pull your belly button into your spine. Let's take a big breath in, and as you do, dip your belly button down and pick up your tailbone and your crown. Keep pushing the ground away, fill your lungs, and then exhale, tuck your chin under, tuck your tailbone, and push your belly button to the sky. Push the ground away and try and open up your whole spine, so really making a big C shape. Inhale, lift your gaze, lift your tailbone, pull your shoulders down your back. Exhale, reverse. Let's do one more. Lifting the gaze with your inhale. Tucking under with your exhale. Okay, coming back to your neutral spine. Let's tuck our toes. We're going to lift our knees and push our hips high for our first downward dog. Okay, when you get there, paddle your heels, push one down at a time, squeeze into your knuckles and your forefinger and thumb to help stabilize you. Push the ground away and reach your chest to your thighs, opening up the armpits. Okay, let's get a bit deeper into these hamstrings. So bend into your left knee and straighten your right. Push your right heel down and reach your right hip high. Remember to squeeze into your fingers to help you create some strength in your shoulders. Let's take one more breath. Okay, let's swap sides. Straightening our left leg, bending our right knee. Bend generously. Push your left hip to the sky. One more breath. Okay, let's come back to our neutral downward dog. Take a big breath in. Have a big sigh. Give your head a shake. Let out any tension. Okay, let's roll forward, bringing our shoulders over our wrists. Bring your hands forward a touch if you need to. Make sure that your body's nice and straight, your tailbone's tucked, and push the ground away. Let's straight away bring our knees down. So from here, we're going to make our way to Cobra, but keep your tailbone high, bend into your elbows, bring your nose down to the mat, and then snake forward, dropping the hips and picking up the chest. Keep it small here, so keep your belly button on the ground, come onto the tops of the feet, and squeeze your shoulder blades to pick your chest up. Keep those elbows tucked into your ribs. Take a big breath, and then a big exhale. Okay, let's tuck those toes under again. Come up onto your knees. Come all the way back to active child's pose. So your hips come to your heels, your heart to your thighs, arms extended over. Let your forehead relax. Take a big breath in. Now your exhale, push back up to downward dog. Nice one, guys. Well done. Reach your chest to your thighs. Keep a bend in the knees and let's walk forward to the top of the mat. Forward fold. So we've got our arms hanging down, a slight bend in our knees, our feet are at hip distance. Let your head hang down and again, give it a little shake. If you want to come to ragdoll pose, then you're more than welcome. Bring opposite hand to opposite elbow, have a sway. Okay, if you're holding your elbows, let them go. Release your arms down. Keep them really heavy. Roll on up one vertebrae at a time, keeping those arms heavy until you come on up, and then reach your arms wide and high. Palms meet overhead. Reach your chest high for a little baby back bend. And then come down, bringing your hands down the center line, all the way back down to a forward fold. Let's inhale and go for a flat back. So big breath in and bring your palms to your shins. Reach your crown away from your tailbone. Use your core to strengthen your back. Pull your shoulders down away from your ears. And then a big exhale, come back to forward fold. Let's step back to our plank. Push the ground away. Drop those knees. Okay, we're going to do the same thing. So keep those hips high, bend into the elbows, bring the nose down, and then snake forward, lifting the chest. Keep that belly button low, squeeze the back muscles. If you want a little bit more, wrap your arms round behind you, interlace your fingers at your glutes, and then pull your hands up. Try and pull them as high as you can. Squeeze your shoulder blades and lift your chest. If you want a little bit more, then try and touch your toes together and maybe even lift them up. Squeeze your back, squeeze your glutes, and then come on down. Bring your hands back to underneath your shoulders, tuck your toes, come back on up to tabletop, and then downward dog. Okay, we're gonna lunge our right leg forward in between our hands. Take your time. When you get there, prop up onto your fingertips, sink your hips as low as feels good, make sure your front knee's over your ankle, and then beam your chest forward, pull your shoulders back and lift your gaze. Push into that back heel. Okay, we're gonna plant our left hand down and reach our right arm high. So we're stacking the shoulders, twisting our belly button round to that front thigh. If this feels like a lot, then drop that back knee. Okay, bring your top hand down, frame the right foot, pick up your back knee if you dropped it, and then we're going to plant our back foot so our left toes are facing the left long edge of the mat. Sweep those arms up to a T. Keep a bend in that front knee. Sink it down, drop the shoulders, tuck your tailbone and squeeze your core. Whew. Okay, we're gonna come to triangle. So straighten that front leg, reach to the right as far as you can, and then drop the hand down and reach your left arm high. Again, stacking those shoulders. You can use your bottom hand to hold onto your leg if that feels more stable, or you can bring that block in and use that to help you. Wherever you are, pull that top shoulder back to open you up. Come back to the breath. Okay, let's bend into that front knee again. Bring both hands down. Let's come back to a lunge. Take that block out of the way for now. Lift up the back heel, come onto the toes. We're going to drop our back knee. Okay, here, you can come into a hamstring stretch, which is extending that front leg, lifting the toes and letting your heart melt down over the front leg. If this feels like a bit much, you can come up, wrap your strap around your front foot and just stay tall and try and pull your toes in from here. Wherever you are, let your shoulders relax. Let's take one more breath here. Okay, let's bend into our front foot. If you had the strap option, then take the strap away. Let's pick up our back knee again. Plant your back foot like we did before for warrior two legs. We're going to bring our right forearm to our right knee. So come on up and then reach your left arm high. So you want to make a big straight line. So sink down into the hips. Make sure your front knee is over your front ankle. Reach through those top fingertips. Beautiful. Take one more breath. Okay, windmill those arms down. Plant your hands, come onto the back toes. And then we're going to pick up our front foot and place our right knee by our right wrist. So your right heel should be in at your left hip crease. Drop your back leg and scooch it back until you feel like you've got a good enough hip stretch. Then release your toes. Stay nice and tall here. If you're quite happy to melt down, then go for it. But this can be enough of a stretch in itself for sure. If you need to bring the block in to give you a little bit more height, that's totally fine. Or you can place it underneath your right glute to support you a little bit. Come back to the breath. Breathe right into that stretch. Let's take one more big breath here. Close the eyes for a breath. Fill your lungs. Big exhale. Okay, if you had that block in there under your glute, then let's take it out. We're going to sit back onto our right glute, and then we're going to wrap that left leg round and place it by our right thigh. I'll come round so you guys can see me a bit better. Make sure both seat bones are planted. So your right heel is by your left glute and your left foot is by your right thigh. If this feels like too much, then just have it on the other side of your knee. Stay here if this is enough for you. If you want a little bit more, then reach your right arm high and then wrap it around your top knee. Plant your left hand behind you and pull your shoulder around. So you should really feel that in the glute and your lower back. Stay tall and long in your spine here and try and take your gaze round to that back shoulder. Okay, let's unravel ourselves and then come out of that position nice and easy. Coming back to child's pose, knees come wide, toes together, sink your heart down, take a big breath. Okay, let's come back on up to tabletop. Bring your knees under your hips, tuck your toes, push your hips high, downward dog. Squeeze your knuckles of your fingers down into the ground. Okay, this time we're going to lunge our left leg through in between our hands. Let's plant our right hand and reach our left arm high for easy twist. Pull that belly button round to the top thigh. Beautiful. Sink a little bit lower. Pull your top shoulder back. Okay, come on down, plant the hand. We're going to plant our back foot, so as the right toes are to the right edge of the mat. Squeeze your core and windmill your arms up for warrior two. Squeeze your front knee out. Make sure you can see your big toe and your second toe on your left foot. Tuck your tailbone under. Arms at a T, drop the shoulders. Take a breath. Okay, push into that front foot to straighten your front leg. Reach with your hands to the left, keep reaching. And then drop your left arm down, right arm comes high, stack those shoulders. Again, bring in that block if you'd like to bring the ground closer to you. Take a breath here. Okay, we're going to bend that front knee again. Come onto the back toes. Bring the block out of the way. Drop your back knee. Let's do that hamstring stretch on the other side. So grab a hold of your strap or your belt. Hook it around your toes. If you're happy to just do hamstring stretch without the belt, then go for it. Let your heart weigh really heavy. If you need a bit of help, then lift yourself on up. Pull that strap to flex your feet. Wherever you are, push that left hip back and right hip forward. Drop the shoulders, try and let them relax. Have a little smile to yourself. Oh. Okay, let's release that front foot, release the belt. Just pop it to the side. Coming back to our runner's lunge. Let's lift up that back knee. Plant the foot again for warrior two legs. This time we're going to bring our left forearm to left knee. Sweep your right arm up, making that big straight line for extended side angle. Pull through the fingertips. Make sure that front knee is over ankle and pull your shoulder up and back to open your chest. Take a breath. Okay, drop those hands down to the floor. Come back to your runner's lunge. Plant your hands and then lift your foot and drop your left knee by your left wrist. Scoot that right leg back, coming into our pigeon pose. Again, take that block if you want to. Pop it under your left glute for support. Stay nice and tall here. Oh, let your hips really open up. Close your eyes down if it feels okay. Take some deep breaths. Okay, let's take that block out from under there, under a glute if you had it there. Sit back on that left glute. Wrap your right leg round. We're going to plant it on the other side of our left thigh. Okay, plant those seat bones. Reach your left arm high. Wrap it around that top knee. Plant your right hand behind you. Twist on round. Pull that knee into your shoulder or your arm. Take a big breath, let your shoulders drop. Okay, let's come on round. Unravel your legs. Come round to tabletop. And then let's push up to plank. Push the ground away, spread your fingers, come all the way down to the ground. Take a big breath in and lift your chest. Let's go for a bit of a bigger cobra now. So lifting your belly button as well. Squeeze your chest forward, pull your shoulders back. Okay, let's exhale and melt down. Push back onto your knees. Come to child's pose. Rest your hips on your heels and your heart on your thighs. Okay, let's breathe ourselves back on up to tabletop. Let's lunge our right leg wide, so our pinky toes coming to the edge of the mat. Your Right shoulder should be on the inside of your right knee. Have a little wiggle, see how low feels good. If you want to scoot your back knee back a little bit, then you're welcome to. Stay here or crawl your fingers forward slightly, just lowering your chest, increasing that stretch. Tuck your chin under to open your cervical spine. Come back to the breath again. It's really good for us to get deep into our hips. They hold so much tension and emotion. Balasana like this are really good for a release. Hopefully you'll feel amazing afterwards. Let's take one more breath. Okay, crawl those hands back in. Let's go for it and go straight to the other side. So come back to tabletop and then lunge your left leg wide. So on the outside of your left hand, have a wiggle, see how your hip's doing. If it's too much to be low here, you could bring a block in to bring you higher, or you can just come up and push down from here. Whatever feels good. Crawl those hands forward if it feels okay. Lowering your chest a bit further to the ground. Let your chin tuck under. Come back to the breath. Maybe have a wiggle from side to side. Okay, let's walk our hands in to under our shoulders. Push on back to your tabletop again. Come up to a forward fold. Heel toe your feet into hip distance. So from here, let's just crawl our hands round to the left edge of the mat. Let your head be heavy. Bend into your left knee. Let yourself hang down. Okay, we'll crawl your hands around all the way to the other edge of the mat, bending into your right knee this time. Again, letting your head hang down. Okay, come back to center. Let's crawl our hands forward for our last downward dog. Take a big breath in and a big sigh. Let's drop our knees down to the mat. Let's come round to a seated position. So crossing our legs, nice and comfy wherever you are. Bring your hands to your knees, palms facing up. Roll your shoulders up with a big inhale and then a big exhale, drop them down. Let's bring our hands to heart center and we'll bow to honor the practice. Well done, Yogi. I hope you found that good. If you didn't find it challenging enough, then go ahead and check out the intermediate stretch. If you found it like it was a good pace for you, then brilliant. Keep using it to increase your flexibility. And if you feel like any of it was too much or you have any questions, please drop me a message on socials or comment below. Either way, please subscribe. There will be more coming this way, and check out my socials for any updates on lives or YouTubes or anything in between. Have an incredible day. I hope you feel wonderful. Lots of love.